Now then, this next category is Europe and the Middle East, and here are the nominations.
And the winner, they are Roma, they are the gypsy band, they are the hardest working band in show business. Give it up for Taraf de Haïdouks. And to present the awards, we've invited one of the band's biggest fans. Please welcome Johnny Depp. Now, we know that you're a huge fan of the Tarafs. Could you tell me, when was the first time you came across them?
I'd heard their music, you know, and then we made a film together. They played My Family. And just sort of started then and kept going, you know.
So what is it about the Haïdouks that you love?
Their music is like, you know, it's beyond anything I've ever heard. First, they're the greatest musicians I've ever heard. Yeah.
So Johnny, I'd like you to ask the band whether they feel that all that hard work, that dedication, that passion, how do they feel to know that we really appreciate it?
Okay. Unitza, we're going to speak French, sort of. It's kind of, yeah, real bastardized French. Est-ce que tout le monde est content pour le Oscar? Ça c'est, hein? Ça c'est pour vous, hein? Ah, tu sais, ah, pardon, c'est comme ça. It's like that, I had it backwards.
Cette première qui c'est très important pour nous et c'est aussi important que notre frère, nous on te considère notre frère Johnny. Tu es venu pour que tu nous donnes cette première.
He said I'm a pig. Je suis un cochon. What? He said that they're very, very happy to receive the award and to receive the attention for their work, for their hard work and their music. And boys, c'est pour vous. Yeah.
Taraf de Haïdouks and the amazing Johnny Depp.
I'm a huge fan of the Taraf, and I'm a huge fan of them as musicians, as artists, and of them as people, you know, as human beings. I'll never forget when I met them for the first time. One of the assistant directors brought me over to this one area of the room, and there were the Tarafs all set up, you know, right in front of me, and they just broke into a song, you know, and that was sort of like welcoming me to their midst or whatever. So they broke into like 3-4 songs, you know, in a row, and I just stood there stupefied. It's always fun to see people's reactions to that, you know. I mean, guys have to listen to it over and over and over, thinking, what was that? And, you know, it was like it was like a train going past, you know, gone. As we were still doing the film, and a couple of friends of mine were in town, Jim Jarmusch and Iggy Pop happened to be in town that night, and so they wanted to hook up. I said, well, I'm working all night, but come out to the set. So they came out, and I'd already told them, I said, you got to see these guys, man. You got to see them. And Iggy was really excited, and Jim was very, you know, enthusiastic about seeing the band and meeting them. And I had told the guys, you know, the Tarafs, I said, listen, there's a couple of friends of mine coming out later I want you to meet. And they're like brothers, you know. So I said, oh, okay. And before Jim and Iggy were there, and before I'd introduced them, I was walking from the set up to this. I was walking from the set with the Tarafs up to where the crew was. It was about 30, 40 yards. And as we started walking, I hadn't informed the Tarafs that they were there yet, but somehow they knew, because there was Jim and Iggy standing right before, you know, about 30, 40 yards ahead of us, and they just started playing, you know, as we're walking towards Jim and Iggy. And it was one of those moments. It was, you know, here I'm walking amidst this power of this music, you know, centuries old music, walking up to Jim and Iggy, and I'll never forget their face, you know, their faces on them. Just, you know, like, you know, totally selfless, you know, they were floating. Jim and Iggy just they couldn't believe it. It was really an amazing moment, you know? And I'll have that memory forever, you know, forever and ever. I always loved gypsy music, for lack of a better term. I mean, stuff out of Serbia or you know, Bosnia, whatever, you know, the former Yugoslavia, you know, the stuff out of Kusturica films, or Tony Gatliff's films, or the stuff that Goran Bregovic was doing. Always loved it, always had great appreciation for it. But when I met the Taraf, it sort of stepped outside, it went outside of the music, because I fell in love. I mean, I just fell in love with everything they did, you know. I was sitting in a trailer with 15 guys that, you know, only a couple, you can only sort of barely converse with a couple of them. The rest, it's just eyes, man, you know. It's just eyeballs and sort of hand gestures, and that's how you get by for hours on end. So, you know, that's, no, I fell in love with them. One time, when they were playing, they asked if I would come and give them, they were to receive this award, and they asked if I would come and present it, you know, so, of course, you know, I came over to give it to them and stuff. And at the time, Vanessa, my girl, was pregnant with our son, Jack. We'd already had Lily Rose, but Vanessa was pregnant with Jack, and I gave him the award, and we sort of had a ball on stage, and then we split, and we went to this little party afterwards for all the musicians. And a couple of them, it was like Caillou and a couple other guys, I told them, I said, hey, you know, Mike, we're going to have another kid, you know. And they got so, I mean, almost weeping. They were, you know, they got so emotional over it. And then they came over to us during the middle of this big sort of shindig. They came over to Vanessa and I as we were about to leave, and sang and played this song of blessing to the belly, you know. You know, so I was there watching these amazing human beings kind of bless my child in my girl's belly. That's what's amazing about these guys, you know. They always give you some kind of experience or memory that will last until, you know, that last light goes out. I mean, in every way. I mean, every experience I've ever had with them is just ingrained in my, you know, just seared onto my brain and my heart. They just live, and the beauty is they live and live every day to the fullest and just continue to move forward, and that's what they know, and that's what we should know. I used to tease Caillou at lunch. I used to go and have lunch with him and tease him that, you know, he was eating this plate of meat, and I said, we would sort of be half Roman and half French. So I would ask him how he was enjoying the meat, you know, and he said, oh, it's good, you know. Shukar. And I said, oh yeah, grast, you know, grast, which means horse. It's horse. And No, I didn't even say, brother, pral. Oh, pral. He would say, pral. No, pral. Like, I can't eat my brother, But just as a joke, I remember talking to Kusturica after he'd done Time of the Gypsies. He was telling me the story about one of the actors on the film who was a gypsy. And they were getting so much money per day, so they'd get paid, and guy'd go and this guy went and he bought a Walkman, and a tape. And he put the thing in, he played the tape, and he listened to it for a day, and then when he was finished with the tape, he took it and he chucked it, and he threw it in the garbage, threw it in the trash can. And Kusturica or somebody was on the set and said, hey man, you just bought that thing, what are you throwing it away for? He said, well yeah, but I'm done with it. I listened to it, I don't need it anymore. And that explains so much to me about the cliches that the majority of people would think about the gypsies, He didn't grab it, or he didn't steal it, or he didn't take it and go and hawk it or whatever. No, he was done with it and he chucked it and that was it, and he kept moving. Beautiful. People in general in life are afraid. They're afraid of everything they don't understand, or they're afraid because they've been conditioned to be afraid. I think the music could very easily break through a lot of those layers. Some of the greatest life lessons I learned ever, I learned from the Tarafs. Don't get hung up about the things you think are important, know what's important. And what's important are the simple things. Sometimes the simple things are incredibly complicated, complex, like the human body and living and life and breathing and laughing and loving and all that stuff, and just enjoying every second. And I was really blessed when I met them to experience that, to learn that from them.
Finalement, au lieu de les rendre comme nous, c'est eux qui nous ont rendus comme eux. C'est-à-dire que tout à coup, ma vision du monde a changé. Passer une semaine avec Johnny Depp à Los Angeles, aller manger avec lui, etc. Et puis tout à coup rentrer avec les jeunes. Il faut une force de caractère invraisemblable pour faire ça. On a fait des spectacles dans les théâtres les plus prestigieux, aux States, en France, en Italie, les plus grandes salles, Même Monaco pour les princes régnants. Il y a quand même un phénomène incroyable, c'est que finalement, d'où qu'on vienne, on revient toujours au même endroit, c'est-à-dire la terre battue, les jeunes, le village, la famille, les enfants, les vieux qui vieillissent, les petits qui grandissent. Et on reprend la vie tout à fait comme on l'avait laissé, même bien avant les tournées.